So welcome to your smoky eye tutorial. Today I'm going to take you through how to do a really classic dark black smoky eye on this side here. So the first thing you're going to need is to prime the eyelid with some concealer as you normally would, and then we're going to take a black gel liner. This may seem really scary, but trust the process because it does become worth it in the end for doing this step first. The beginning of this makeup though, you will feel like a panda. So if you're doing someone else's makeup, just tell them to close their eyes till the very end. So what I'm going to do is decant some of my eyeliner. So taking the back of my brush or a spatula, and I'm going to pop that on the back of my hand or on my metal palette. Next, I'm taking a flat brush. I'm going to pick up that gel eyeliner and I'm going to paint the entire mobile eyelid. So like I said, you'll feel pretty crazy at first. And I'm just patting this product all over the eyelid. Bringing it all the way into the inner corner and up to the crease. And all the way to the outer corner. Make sure that you go between all of your lashes as well and fill in any gaps. And you do want to work quite quickly with this because it will set. So taking a small fluffy brush, just use that to blend out those edges. There is no product on this brush, I'm just blending the outer edges of that gel eyeliner. And I'm just stretching the skin slightly so that I can have a little bit more tension on the eyelid. But when you're doing it on someone else, you'd be lifting up their eyebrow like this. So all I'm aiming for is there not to be a straight edge anywhere. So if you need to go in with your finger and buff out the edges even more and blend them out, feel free to. But anything you can do just to make sure that you don't have like a direct straight line anywhere. Everything stays quite soft. So like I said, you'll feel pretty crazy at first, but as long as that color is blended up to the crease, you should be totally fine. By having this black underneath all of your eyeshadows, it will really help to intensify your colors. If you just have a skin tone and you put black directly on top of that skin tone, it looks kind of grey. It doesn't have that intensity to it. But if you put a black eyeshadow over a black lid, it's obviously going to look really intense and really dark. So that's what we're aiming for with this, is we're going to put black all over the lid later on. So by having this base of black, it's going to really up the intensity of our colors and make them really stand out. Funnily enough, this trick actually also works for bright colors. So if I took a bright colored pigment and I applied that just directly to the skin, it doesn't look that intense. It just kind of shears out a little bit and you don't get a full color payoff. However, if you do put it over a black base, you get a lot more shine out of your pigments and the color will actually show up almost a bit darker and more intense. So you can see so much more reflection in that color because it has the black base versus here where it's kind of more sheared out and just looks like skin. So I'm starting with that transition shade and I'm just buffing that into the crease to blend out the shape of the eye and then leaving that little gap of skin poking out underneath the eye so that your eyes don't look too heavy. Next, I'm going to take that black, again on my fluffy brush. I'm not too concerned if there is any fallout under the eyes because we don't have any foundation on anyway, but we can tap off the excess just to be safe. The black is actually going to be blended into the crease as well as all over the entire eyelid. So first I like to press that product so that it kind of removes most of it from the brush. And then we're going to start in tiny little circles in the outer corner of the eye. I always start in the outside rather than the inner corner because the outer corner can be as dark as possible, whereas the inner corner I like to keep a little bit brighter and a little bit lighter. So starting in the outer corner of the crease, I'm just doing tiny little circles and blending back and forth until my color looks really, really nice and dark and deep. And then I'm going to do those little windshield wiper motions back and forth in the crease, following the natural bone structure of my client. So I've actually only dipped into that black one time, but you really don't need to use a lot of product, especially with such a dark color. If you're using a high quality eyeshadow, a lot of the time it will be pigmented enough to get you a really good effect because you've got that black eyelid. So again, I just do tiny little circles up to the crease and slowly get higher and higher as I go. So once I'm happy with the intensity of those eyeshadows, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to buff off any of that product off of my brush. And then I'm going to go back into that transition color. What I'm going to do is use this to help blend out the outer edge of this darker shadow. So just going over the top of that black where we put the transition before, except now we're almost sandwiching it in. So just taking that all over the edge of your eyeshadow. And that just helps blend everything out really seamlessly as well. Now taking some micellar water on a cotton round, I'm just going to clean up any fallout underneath the eye. And we're going to put some concealer there now. So now the under eye has been concealed. I'm going to take the transition color that we used before and run that along the lower lash line. All the way from the outside, all the way to the inside. And this one can be blended out quite low down. We are going to be using black underneath the eye as well. Next, I'm going to go back in with that gel eyeliner. And this time, decant a little bit. And I'm going to apply this to the waterline. So gently pulling down the lower lash line. And then just painting that along the waterline. You could also use a pencil eyeliner by using that on the waterline as well. And the other thing I'm going to do is tightline, which is actually the upper waterline underneath your top lashes. So it's actually easier to do this on yourself than it is to do it on a client. But I'm just wiggling the pencil around the top lashes, up and underneath the natural lashes. And with a look like this is actually crucial because it fills in all the little skin gaps between your natural lashes and the black that you put all over the eye, so that way there's no little gaps poking through. Now the lower lash line looks a little bit crazy at the moment, so we're going to go in with a really tiny angled brush and a little bit more of that black eyeshadow. And what I'm going to do is smoke out that lash line. So holding my brush vertically up underneath my eyelashes and kind of blending between the lashes and kind of connecting it with the waterline, so that way it looks like just the waterline is being smoked out. And again, once you're happy with the intensity of that black, you want to go back in with your transition color from before and blend it out again, just to make sure everything stays really, really soft. And I like to have the colors kind of connect in this outer corner here, just to really open and lift the eye. My final step is going to be popping a little sparkly highlight right in the inner corner to really open up the eyes again, make sure that person looks nice and bright and awake in the inner corner. Blending out my edges. And then I'm just going to finish this off again with mascara and some lashes. So obviously this is a very different style of eyelash. It is a bit more large, fluffy, and it does kind of extend more into this upper area, which suits this kind of eye makeup. I find black in particular is very hard to wear, so you do need to have slightly bigger of a lash and something that's nice and fluffy so that you can see the design of the eye makeup, but the eyes still look really big and enlarged. So that is your classic smoky eye. I'm now going to finish the rest of the face. So once the eyes were completed like this, I would then move on to the base. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my face with some foundation, cheeks, lips, and everything like that, and I'll show you the final result. So when choosing colors that will complement your eye looks, you either want to choose cool tones or warm tones. So because on both eyes we used a cool tone transition shade and the black kind of fades out to a cool tone grey, what we want to look for are colors that are slightly on the cooler tone. So things like pink instead of peach are going to complement that kind of eye look. So I chose a more nudie kind of cool tone lip as well to go with such harsh eye makeup to make the eyes really pop and become the focus of the face, and the lips just complement the rest of the makeup. So these are 2 options for your evening event makeups. As always, we can't wait to see your practices and see how you guys go with these different techniques. Let me know which one's your favorite, and we'll see you at your next tutorial. Bye!